when you move abroad and you live abroad for multiple years, there's a lot of impact that has on you at the time and then also following.
Lasting impact.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you have an opportunity to go like study abroad or take a gap year somewhere, I could not suggest it enough. And there's so many reasons why, and we're going to dive into that today. You cannot tell me that.
Ask me any question you want, girly. Can I just say, my stomach is growling, and I'm afraid that this mic is picking it up.
Do you need some food?
No, I'll be okay.
Really crunchy
I think it was just, I think it was just growling for a second, and now it's done.
If that picks that up, I will be very impressed.
Okay, good. You might have been able to hear that one. It's okay.
Cheers to episode 1.
Episode 1. Sorry.
Having our conversations documented for me, I feel like that would be proof of real friendship.
Yeah.
Let's actually jump into the topic.
Yeah, let's get into it.
When I was like 15, we moved to Germany. We were called to do missions work over there. My dad was a worship leader. I grew up in Nashville, very small town, like same town most of my life. So it was a very just jarring experience going to a completely different culture, let alone like a different country. It was just really overwhelming. And so I was there for 3 years, and we were in a city called Potsdam. It's like 30 minutes outside of Berlin. So I would spend a lot of time also in Berlin. We did a lot of traveling. And now I've settled in Ohio, and this is where I met Phoebe. I love living here. I love being settled here. I don't plan on leaving anytime soon. But there is some, when you move abroad and you live abroad for multiple years, there's a lot of impact that has on you at the time and then also following.
Lasting impact.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you have an opportunity to go like study abroad or take a gap year somewhere, I could not suggest it enough. And there's so many reasons why, and we're going to dive into that today. And the reason why I have Phoebe here, even though she's so much fun and she's my BFF forever, you also lived overseas for 3 years. Mm-hmm. So where did you live and when?
When I was 12, we moved overseas to Brussels, Belgium. Very similar story to you. Mm-hmm. We were a part of a church at the time in Nashville. I'm also from Nashville.
We're from the same place?
From the same place.
Our dads recorded music together before we were born, or when we were like toddlers.
Both of us come from musician families, and our families work together. And then we met a long time later in Ohio and realized all of the connections. But it was an incredible experience. We also lived there for 3 years.
We literally missed each other. I moved when I was 15. She left when she was 15, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, insane. The summer I moved here, she was a friend of a friend. The reason I knew that you were from Nashville is because of your area code. It was the Nashville area code, and I have that, in my memory from childhood. We started talking. We were like, we have the same life. This is insane.
I'll never forget that moment where we were like, oh my gosh, crazy.
It will never be normal.
Yes,
the fact that all the parallels are crazy.
Yeah.
And also, we could be totally different in personality and not vibe, but I've never vibed with another girl
we do vibe. I can tell you now that we do.
All that being said, we both have very special experiences living overseas, and I wanted to talk about, and I'm sure that you will appreciate this too. When I moved over there, I was completely you don't realize what you attach to your personality or who you are from your culture or your nationality. You have no idea how much of who you think you are has to do with where you live. It was beautiful and also really difficult because I was stripped down completely who I thought I was versus who I really was, and realized I don't actually know who I am.
Wow.
I have a few things that I feel like are me, but and also I think American school systems and definitely had cliques in my school, definitely had all the classic the popular kids and all that stuff, and it really affected me and how I saw the world and how I saw relationships at that time. And so when I moved and people were just nice to me and there weren't cliques in my school, and everyone was just like mature.
I had the same experience.
It was insane. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to function.
Yeah.
Like my entire worldview and system for operating in relationships socially with people is just totally gone.
Yeah.
What I'm left with is like the raw, vulnerable who I am.
Yeah.
And I had to rebuild that, basically. Mm-hmm. But it was, like I said, very difficult. But like, oh my gosh, I'm so thankful that I went through that, because now I feel like I have such a sense of self now as an adult that I would not have had if I hadn't had that experience.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so refreshing for me. That's the word that I can like pair with that experience of being in school there.
It was just like, we're just friends. You can be friends too. Like, there wasn't like a hierarchy.
There was very little drama compared to the drama I experienced in the States. Like the friend drama, one of the most impactful things for me was that there were 70 different nationalities directly from their country.
That is wild.
So I feel like people just walk into that way more understanding with a baseline of just like a worldview that's just like, people are not going to think the same thing as me, and they don't have to.
Yeah.
It was just so beautiful and such a colorful view. I got these little leather, I got all these little like old keys.
Old keys. I loved old keys.
Me too. What's the deal with old keys?
Let me see the crotch pants.
I think they're so cute. It says Swiss on them. They're little zipper pants. I don't think they actually open up that way, but I mean, what a cute little coin purse.
What does that mean in French?
Switzerland.
Oh, you got it.
This is one of my prized possessions. You want to know why?
Yes. Tell me why.
When we were driving through, it was like, right before we all moved back the first time. Mm-hmm. We took a road trip to like Austria and Switzerland and through the Alps, and it was so beautiful.
We did the same thing.
It was so fun.
Incredible.
We were just like, we gotta see stuff before we go, and some more stuff at least. So we went there, and anyways, it was pitch dark, pitch black, like getting really late at night. We didn't have, reservations at a hotel. I might have already told you this story.
No, but I'm like, I wonder if I know where it's going.
And so we just like basically drive in this little provincial town in Switzerland, and we're just like, well, this is the town. And my dad's just like, where, there's no service. He's like, where are we gonna find a place to lay our little heads? And so he just like finds this little inn and goes inside. We have no idea where we are.
Oh my gosh.
He goes inside, there's vacancy. So we go up to our little room, and then we wake up, we're like, well, before we go to sleep, we're looking out the window, we're like, I wonder if there's like mountains around here. Like, I wonder where we are. This is so fun.
Yeah.
And we wake up and we're like 360 surrounded by snow-capped mountains. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like this, all around us. And there's like cows crossing the street with bells on. Like,
hold on. Phoebe!
Don't tell me you stayed here. Don't tell me you stayed here. Don't tell me you stayed here right now. Don't tell me you stayed here right now. What's making you think you stayed here?
I'll show you the picture. Same thing, okay? We're doing the road trip through Switzerland. Little town.
No way.
I'm serious, cows with the bells on. Same thing.
When you wake up, you're like, oh my gosh.
It could not be the same place, but if it is, I'm going to absolutely poop my pants.
Picture. You have to... No.
There's no way.
No.
There's no way.
Was there a balcony? I am.
What if? That would be
insane. That would be insane. I'm glad we got this on video.
But go back to your story.
I remember they specifically said, like, don't take these. These are in your room. These are not complimentary. Like, these are for the guests. Like, don't. And I was I'm taking it because.
Absolutely.
How am I going to remember where I am? Like, I'm so discombobulated. I don't even know what's happening. Yeah. But I know that this was a memory, and I have to know how to get back here one day. And so I swiped this.
I'm so glad that's perfect. That's genius. How have, like, those experiences and those friendships and relationships Like, how did that affect you when you came back to the States?
Just my worldview as a whole was just like, this is so much bigger than me. Like,
Yeah, oh my gosh.
just being aware of other cultures and other languages and like just so even having the perspective of like I remember when I got fluent enough in French and like the Belgian sense of humor and how to communicate myself in that way, my personality. And I felt like I was connecting with a whole other part of myself and like these people I was with.
It was so cool. This is something I never realized as an American, was how freaking easy it is to travel. I loved how freaking easy it was.
So simple.
So also cheap. Also cheap.
Yes.
For my 16th birthday, this was the coolest memory ever for me. This is like core memory. For my 16th birthday, my parents surprised me with flights, just me and my friend, to go to Paris for a long weekend. This is from my trip to Paris. It looks very cliche. But this is when my parents surprised me with the plane tickets for my birthday. This is what they put them in.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, so that's why I kept it. It's a little cliche and cheesy, but like it's so special to me.
It's a memory.
Well, when you live here, there's so much against you with like the ability to travel.
Yeah.
When you live here, it's so expensive. Then when you do get over there, you can't fully enjoy it because you're trying to cram in a bunch of stuff in a short period of time.
Yes.
And you're also jet lagged. When you live over there, you don't have jet lag. There's like an hour difference between countries. It's like nothing.
Even if you can just spend a month somewhere, it's completely different. Like,
oh my gosh.
If you could spend a month somewhere and like really get a taste of what's happening and have the pressure be gone from you to like fit everything in, but actually be able to experience a place.
And of course, traveling in any way is amazing, of course.
Yeah.
But being able to actually be somewhere and stay there and like meet people and see how they spend their Saturday nights and like what they eat. Like being with the national people is really what opened my mind up more than even just being in a different place. It was like, this is how you live life. Like this is so inspiring and cool and different than how I lived. It made me realize as a person like what I want in life more.
Me skiing. SOS.
Oh my gosh, her skiing. Wait, where is this?
That was in France.
And her skiing in France. So cute.
I'm LOLing that picture is going on YouTube. The picture lives rent-free in my mind. Like once a week I see this picture of me 12 years old skiing.
I'm gonna disconnect this mic because it's a little bit much to hold it.
Oh, this is just like
what was it called?
A journal de classe.
Cute.
And it's basically just a class journal. This is my grades.
Oh man.
And then we have a newspaper from London. These are just from all my travels. So many little treasures. What's in here? We may never know. Money, Belgian money.
Let's see
ooh, this is my Metro Pass.
Metro Pass.
Doodle-doo-doo. Doodle-doo-doo. In all her glory.
Okay.
Oh, that is rich.
Okay, this is actually for my wedding, so that doesn't count, but map of London.
Oh my gosh, we have the same.
I drew this.
Oh,
That's this was Brandenburger Straße. That's like the main street and main road in our city.
all the ticket stubs.
Oh yeah. This was a collapsible map of Paris, I think.
Whoa.
But it's like a crush. I hung it up in my room. See, there's tape on it. I hung it up in my room. But feel it. It's like, isn't that weird? I know.
That feels crazy.
Okay, now it's, I need to find my Metro card. Oh my gosh. This is insane. I haven't gone through this in a very long time. All of my, before I got my Metro card, all my train tickets.
I even felt this so much on our last trip when we just went for like 10 days to be with my family who still lives over there. And one time we walked into this coffee shop by my family's house. Mm-hmm. You know, I was trying to explain to the barista what I wanted and everything. She could tell that we were kind of like, flustered coming in. And she was like, do you guys want to sit in or are you taking to go? And I was like, oh, we'll sit in. She was like, great. So we just kind of like leaned on a stool, and she was like, no, like go sit down, like sit on a couch, like please.
Yes.
And something she said with her little French accent, she said, just chill, hein? Just chill.
Just chill.
Just chill. And me and Ben have just said that to each other so many times since then. We're just just chill.
I love it.
It's like, that's their attitude. It's just like, why do I sense
so
this from you of like, you're busy. Like, what are you busy about? Like, just sit down and enjoy your coffee. They're not rushed. No.
Europeans are not rushed.
They're not rushed.
But it helps.
They don't get it.
It helps you to learn how to not rush.
That was honestly a spiritual moment for me. I was like, convicted in that moment. I was like, why am I rushing? I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
I have nothing to do today but explore this beautiful country. I'm going to sit down and enjoy this latte.
Absolutely.
And it was just like, yes, I love her. It's pressure. Oh, sorry.
It's going to pick up your stomach growls.
It actually might. I'm actually a little bit worried. It
actually might.
There's so much less pressure for the American dream and all that kind of stuff. So much less hurry, like hurry culture, hurry mentality.
Yes. Yeah.
The multitasking, like juggling all these plates at once, and like that is such a cultural thing that I feel like they are just totally fine to just like, be late to stuff and linger, and they're
that's
like,
funny. That's more French culture. Germans not so much.
It's true. Yeah, Belgians are like
if you have a hard time doing work-life balance, or like you're rushed or busy or stressed, not that living in another country would not stress you out in some ways, because there's definitely stressful moments.
Will be stressful moments.
But there's such more of a, like, it feels like productive stress, because you're learning so much that is going to be beneficial for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And it's also highly educational for you as a person. Do something like that and learn how to engage with another culture and like actually. Why are you smiling?
Nothing. No.
You're like looking at me like this. You like made me almost laugh like multiple times.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm just loving what you're saying, girly.
It's okay.
I'm just living for the moment. Yeah, I feel like getting a taste of another culture, widening and deepening your worldview and, awareness.
Yeah.
It's really experiencing something that is just going to be really, you can just count on it being really influential for your life.
Totally. You're just, you're so happy that you did it.
The hardest part is just getting there. And it's not doable for everybody in every stage of life. It's like a huge privilege if you can get over there. But my point is just that it feels so far away when you're in America. But if you can like make it real for yourself at some point in your life, it's worth it.
A final point to this subject is that I did not realize how unhealthy some of the patterns were that I had living here, like the relationships I had that were toxic, friendships, even like boyfriends. Like, I did not realize how sad I actually was until I left and got out. When you have actual physical distance from something, it makes you see it completely differently. So even if it's like your family, if you'd be going like solo doing a gap year, like it's really helpful to, number one, appreciate the people that are like true friends and that are real like support systems for you. And then to see things or ways that you were living that you're like, I never want to do that again. But I had to force myself out of that situation to be able to see it for what it was. And I just feel so thankful, as difficult as it was and how much hardship I had. I feel so thankful for just being able to travel so much and see so much of the world.
Me too.
Just freaking do it. You will thank yourself in the future. And what's the worst that could happen? You turn around and come back home?
Yeah. And the best that can happen is that it's a Lizzie McGuire movie moment and you're crushing it.
Absolutely. You know that scene in Sabrina? She's talking, it's like she just got to Paris and she's talking to her boss, who's like this amazing independent solo woman that works for the magazine. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
It's been a long time since, but please keep going.
Well, the whole scene is Sabrina, this woman is at a farmer's market by herself. And Sabrina like runs into her. And Sabrina's a very awkward person. She's like very socially awkward, not a lot of self-confidence or self-esteem. And she runs into this woman, and this woman just kind of takes her under her wing. It's beautiful. The woman told Sabrina, what she's basically seeing in her, that you're ashamed of being alone. You're ashamed of being alone. You think it's embarrassing. You're embarrassed to be by yourself, and it's not embarrassing. And then she talks about how she finds herself in the streets of Paris. And that scene is, for me, a perfect encapsulation of what happened with me. Of like, I was so ashamed of being alone. I was so ashamed of, not having thousands of friends or whatever. I was so not self-confident, had low self-esteem. And then when I moved there, it was still hard, but I found myself there and like the real me. This is not to say you won't like find yourself or have self-esteem if you don't move abroad.
No, but
the impact that it had on me was that.
Like I said, you can, if you can have a situation where you spend any amount of time overseas, you can count on it being powerful for you.
Absolutely.
Even if it's just seeing something you've never seen before and broadening your, perspective on cultures in the world. Like,
totally. If someone is like about to take the plunge to do a gap year or like move abroad for a little bit, what would you say to them?
I would say you're never going to regret it.
Yes.
You're never going to regret it.
I mean, look at us. We're sitting here just like fawning over all of these old memories and like
the hard parts, the amazing parts.
Yes,
I look back on everything with fondness and zero regrets. I'm just so blessed by the experience. So
yeah, you will not regret it. Shepherd agrees.